Turning US's biggest pharma company. Finally, they've got the US FDA nod for the generic version of Glivec. Sun Pharma management for the longest time has maintained that for FY16, this could be a game-changing drug. Glivec 180-day exclusivity rights have come in. When a company gets an exclusivity right for 180 days, which is nearly 6 months, they tend to gain disproportionate market share and disproportionate pricing always remains. The exclusivity for Sun Pharma has kicked in. This is a much needed booster for Sun Pharma because frankly last 12 months have been pretty much more like washout for Sun Pharma. Ranbaxy acquisition, US FDA problems in Halol and huge price erosion in some of the key drugs. But it's official now. On the US FDA website, India's biggest pharma company, which is Sun Pharma, they've got the US FDA nod to launch Glivec, and I think the launch should happen from 1st of Feb. Markets knew that this was coming, but I think just that US FDA has been so unpredictable, and Indian pharma companies have been so badly burned because of US FDA problems. When a trigger like Glivec comes in for Sun Pharma, that is a mighty and that is a mega relief for Sun Pharma. Sarabjit, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Markets knew that Glivec was coming, but were markets pricing in a Glivec launch from 1st of Feb 2016?
See, normally it depends on analyst to analyst, but we normally don't tend to factor in any parafor until the company launches it because there are US FDA issues, sometimes there are approval issues and litigation. So I don't think, and the way the stock is corrected, I don't think it's currently factoring in, from a valuation perspective, I don't think it's factoring in those numbers right now.
Because of the Halol problems, Sun Pharma obviously will have problems in producing Glivec. Minus Halol, are they in a position to really milk this 180-day exclusivity?
No, what they have done is a site transfer actually for the product. So definitely they will be able to milk it, but not to that extent if it would have done it from it. But, they will be able to manage it actually.
What is your assessment of the price erosion? Typically when the drug moves from a original patent holder to a generic patent holder, there always has been a price erosion. Glivec right now is a $2.5 billion drug. Once it is launched by Sun Pharma, even though it's exclusive, can there be initial price erosion?
See, normally as a thumb rule, we assume 50% price erosion. So even that happens, 1 billion is quite a big market for Sun to address. So easily it can do a good sales from the product. But on a conservative basis, even $200 million to 300 is not a very big assessment. I guess that can easily be done by the company.
Okay, let's also get in Dipen Mehta who joins in. Dipen, big news, finally some reprieve. The big breaking story on 18 hours that Sun Pharma has got the US FDA nod finally for Glivec, and it's going to have a market share of approximately $2.5 billion in the US. How are you reading into this for Sun Pharma?
See, first of all, this news was widely expected, and a lot of analysts and investors have been factoring it in the earnings for Sun Pharma. But there was some amount of uncertainty, and we have seen not only in case of Sun Pharma but several other companies that big ticket approvals sometimes get complicated, and the opportunity never really comes through. But I think this one is very good development for Sun Pharma, and they will be able to realize the full potential of this approval which they have got. And as you said, yes, it has, I think, much needed reprieve for the company, which has had quite a few setbacks over the past couple of quarters or so.
Dipen, markets knew that the Glivec approval was coming, but I guess nobody was sure on the timeline. Now what we can share with you is that the drug would be launched in this financial year itself, from 1st of February 2016. Now, Dipen, when Sun Pharma alluded to their FY16 guidance, they had guided for a very flat year. But because of this official date which is out for Glivec launch, will the assumptions and will the calculation change?
Yeah, of course, I think it will have to change, and that this will give a big boost to the top line, bottom line. But you need to keep in mind that these are one-time opportunities, and then when this opportunity is over and done with, unless there is a marked improvement in the base business, these things don't get a very high discounting or premium on any stock price. So while it's a great development, and it will improve the cash flows of the company, and it will give a boost, and subsequently even after there is more competition, some amount of revenues will continue to flow because it's a first mover advantage and they may retain the highest market share. But it's not like something which is self-sustaining and which takes the company's growth to a new trajectory. So one needs to keep that in mind. And some amount, as I said, has already got factored in. Whenever we do the analysis of pharma companies, the actual cash flows and the benefits of first-to-file molecules does get factored in on a per-share basis.
Stay with us, Dipen. Let's also get in Darshan from our research desk. And Darshan, take us through what this means, whether it's been factored in or not.
See, most of the analysts indicated that this was the next big trigger for Sun Pharma, given all the problems that they had. I was just going through a recent CLSA report, and they have valued Glivec at close to 30 rupees a share, 12% of Sun Pharma's FY17 EPS, and they say this is the next big trigger, given the fact that probably site transfers must have already been done. So it's a big booster, for a counter which is not doing well. Nothing positive was coming in. We need to know from which site this transfer had come in. But I just wanted to ask Sarabjit, Sarabjit, what kind of EPS and per share valuation have you given to Glivec?
Yeah, I believe that the Glivec can easily do sales very, very conservative basis, around upwards of 1,000 to 2,000 crores, and definitely a net profit of around 300 to roughly 400 CR on the bottom line. So that will be the impact on the bottom line.
Sarabjit, has any clue from which plant this filing has been done? Has this been done from Halol, or probably is there a site transfer? In the analyst call, what did the company say?
That's a site transfer.
So, any idea from which site this has come to?
No, not particular about the site, but it's a site transfer.
Dipen, what do you read into this in terms of valuation? How will the investor community look at it? It's already up 4%. Was this the big booster that Sun Pharma was needing post all the issues that have gone through the company?
Yeah, it was one of the boosters, but I think from investor point of view, the resolution of the US FDA observation on the Halol plant, that is an important development because, that kind of brings back a whole host of products, and the revenues can then start flowing from there, and that's more of a consistent and visible revenue flow. With this particular opportunity, we are aware of the ultimate upsides, and that quickly gets factored in, in a day or two or so, as we are seeing just now.
Sarabjit, what kind of margins will this product carry? Any idea of the top line and bottom line and margin contribution that this drug can get for Sun Pharma?
That's what I said. It can easily do net margins of around 30% easily. So that is the kind of profitability the product will easily get garner.
Sarabjit, given the fact that this was one big concern, the Glivec launches, there was another big concern with respect to the wind power project, unrelated business, that has also been put off completely. So where do you now see potential target upside for Sun Pharma, given that some of these key issues are out of the way?
We believe that we have a positive view on the company because it's already going through bad times, and the stock has also corrected for the same. So we believe that currently we have a price target of 950 on the stock, and we believe that it's the right opportunity to get on the stock because next year onwards the problems vis-a-vis with respect to its Indian business, be it US, should subside, and going forward, even Taro is doing fairly well. Taro is the main contributor for a company in terms of profitability. That's doing fairly well. It has good pipeline in Taro and otherwise also. So I guess then good cash balance. 50% of the company's net worth is almost in cash. So with the products like Glivec and all, it will add to its cash position. So even though it's one time, it increases its book value. So in terms of if you look at price to book, the stock is currently actually cheaper in comparison to other large caps. So it's a good time to get into stock actually.
Dipen, run us through your analysis as to now where you see the stock price headed. I know you said that this was something that was highly anticipated, but as a catalyst for a lot of the analysts and brokerages, this was a key issue, and this is now out of the way. We've spoken about how their wind power projects being shelved is also one of the key triggers for Sun Pharma. Where does the stock go from 755?
I think more or less this particular development has got, and maybe the stock has created a bottom at these levels. But as I said, I think many more many more challenges on the Halol plant front, on the integration with Ranbaxy. There were certain costs, extra costs which had come through, and there were more challenges over there as well. So as I understand, the company is still in transition phase with the acquisition of Ranbaxy, the Halol plant issue, and the competition that it is faced because of channel consolidation in the U.S. So all these things are still plaguing the company, and we've in the results and the con call which followed. So as I said, it's a company which is in transition, and maybe you could see a turnaround from this point on. But there's no denying the fact that 3 years from now, this stock price would be significantly higher than the levels we are seeing just now. End of the day, it's a blue chip company, fabulous track record, dynamic management, clearly have understood the opportunity and have the wherewithal to take full advantage of the generic opportunity which is there not just in US but globally. So many things going positive, and all these recent setbacks are typically one-time events which will get resolved. I think the management caliber is such that they take these challenges and resolve them. So very positive per se, and the more important thing is that again. It's a large cap stock which comes into play, and investors are desperately looking out for good large cap stories to latch onto. I think if you look at the Sensex Nifty stock, there are hardly any growth stocks over there, and this certainly may now qualify as a growth stock.
Many thanks, Dipen, as well as Sarabjit, for joining in on that big breaking news. And indeed, you've got Sun Pharma getting out one hurdle after another, and things are seriously moving in favor of the stock that off late has come under a bit of pressure. Take a look at the intraday chart. That really tells the story. Lots of potential for this Glivec, given the annual sales are of approximately $2.5 billion US. And even a timeline has been given, introduction of the project as early as Feb 1st. Take a look at the rub-off.